Hello everyone, and today we're going to be making the red threaded Regency stays. Originally I have the long stays, but I have decided to cut them down so that they were going to be the short stays as opposed to long, because I needed the short stays, and I've already got a pair of the off the rack long stays. Now these stays that I'm making, they are going to be covered in a brown taffeta, and their strength layer is of course the standard English coutil. So let's go ahead and get started on these. Here I am just going to be cutting them out and getting them all nice and prepared so that we can actually begin the sewing process. So I noticed as I was starting to cut this out that my pinking shears had quite the resistance towards the coutil, so I struggled a whole lot with this. It's to be expected, I guess, if you're working with tough material like coutil. So now I know what to expect in the future if I ever want to make another corset, which we all know to be inevitable as a historical costumer. So this brown silk taffeta is going to be my fashion layer. It was a Regency open robe, but it didn't fit me well enough, so I decided to recycle it for this project, and I think it just turned out beautifully for these stays. And I do refashion a lot of stuff that I'm not really happy with when it comes to my costuming. So here I am just flatlining the back of my stays, and I do like to work in a way that I work on the biggest piece and then go all the way down to the smallest pieces, which in this case would be the gores, whenever it comes to the flatlining. Now with these stays, I don't have an interlining with them. I find that the coutil and the silk taffeta to be strong enough because they don't stretch, and I just wanted something that was maybe a little lighter, especially seeing how it's summer now and I live in the South, and we all know how hot it can be down here because of the humidity and other things like that. But these stays will be perfect for the hot weather in any costuming events that I may or may not go to at any point in time. Ironing the spots where the gores were going to go was such a difficult thing to do, I've noticed as I'm doing this. And I've heard somebody else talking about it before. I just can't remember exactly what YouTuber it was, but now I see exactly what they were talking about when they said like both sides would flap open. And you can see that I am kind of struggling the more I try to iron these things down. And I did burn myself on the steam a few times, but I guess that's just the risk you gotta take whenever you're doing such a teeny tiny seam allowance. And now let's get to putting in these gores. Now I did speed this up just a little bit so you wouldn't have to sit through 5 minutes of it. But with these gores, if you are a larger bust, I do believe in the instructions they recommend widening them. However, that was not the case for me because I have made these previously in the long version because that's the original version of this pattern that I have. I bought the long and not the already shortened version. I just cut them to the short, and I did not have any problems with like any spillage or anything. I think they fit just fine for me, but it definitely make a mock-up before you actually do try to decide if you want to keep them as they are or not. On to seaming up the side piece of the stays to the front piece. Now this I had to seam rip after I had finished this because I'd accidentally put it upside down and didn't realize it until I had completely finished the side and was about to put on the other side. But hey, mistakes happen. And this became like a little learning moment for me to pay attention to what I'm doing and don't go so fast. Now I'm just seaming up the other side so that we can continue on and get the back put on so that we can move on to the last two steps, which is binding and then putting on the grommets. The binding on these stays is the same brown silk taffeta. I had just taken some of these scraps that was left over and then just made it into the binding and stitched it together where I had to because there was not a lot of the silk taffeta left where I could do full length bias strips, but I just made it work because sometimes that's just what you gotta do, and I did not want any of this silk taffeta to really go to waste. Alright, and these are the finished stays. I'm so proud of how these turned out and I cannot wait to wear them.